I know it seems early to say, but Fortnite Chapter 7 is officially already being leaked. From map changes going forward until the end of Chapter 6 to official announcements from the Epic Games CEO himself, and how the OG mode could play a part into this, into bringing back the 7 in the storyline, you heard that right for Chapter 7. Tons of information, so little time, make sure you're sticking around until the end to get all of that and more today. Don't forget I'm an official Epic partner, so before you pick anything up from the shop, make sure to enter code FM1 inside there, being one of the shortest and easiest codes to enter, only 3 digits long. It would mean the world to me and my dog Charlie the Charcoal Pug now that we've got the brand new cutout, so that means another purchase had to be made. Last video I wanted to know the name of this, so here's a bunch of hearted comments on screen right now that got that right. Today, however, I want to know the name of this, so let me know down below in the comments, and if it gets hearted it could be showed on screen in the next video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, as after all it only benefits you, with us gifting different subscribers every single day, with some proof for that recently on screen right now. Diving straight into it all before we hop onto the official Chapter 7 stuff, which you guys won't believe, of course we need to set the ground out for what's going to be happening this year and how we get there. And just before that, don't forget to follow my TikTok, link at the top of this video description and pinned comments. I'll be putting a 13,500 V-Bucks card code on my story over there at 10,000 followers, and we're less than 1,000 away, so make sure you get in early now. I figured giving it away this way would be more fair, considering literally anybody has the chance to get it who redeems it first. With that said, the first piece of intel comes from Lulo, upcoming big update codename Jethro, upcoming Jethro huge thing, 3 bosses, 5 henchmen, 1 specialist scout NPC, 5 NPCs and 3 plugins. I know what you're thinking, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense on its own, but FireMonkey quote tweeted this following up, stating some slight extra Jethro codename info. Chapter 6 Season 4 v36.00 mentions the Jethro and the Jethro Loot plugins. Jethro Loot is a new plugin that I haven't seen listed yet, so it appears that the known plugins for Jethro is Jethro, Jethro Loot, Jethro TV and Jethro XV. Some people are speculating that nothing could return, you know, from the end of Chapter 3 that was mentioned on these TVs, as codename Jethro TV was obviously mentioned in the files. And with the mention of Chapter 6 Season 4 and the codename Jethro having large involvement throughout the files then at least, with us knowing that each annual chapter now lasts a total of 4 seasons, obviously before the new one releases at the end of the year in December, this led many people to believe that this was going to be the final season of Chapter 6, Season 4 itself, before we go back to a month-long throwback of Chapter 3. Chapter 3 Season 1 was one of the most goated seasons in my opinion, definitely a favourite, with the Spider-Man mythic web slingers and such being introduced, and just the overall map and vibe. Sadly, it may only be wishful thinking for this season to return at the end of the year for an OG, as we've already had OG Chapter 1 the month-long season, and then we also had Chapter 2 Remix. And this is because Lulo mentioned last night Chapter 6 should have 5 seasons. The Turtle Island plugin doesn't get disabled until 38.00, so pay close attention because I've got to break all this down, it's a little complicated. Chapter 6 Season 3 equals 35.00, Chapter 6 Season 4 equals 36.00, Chapter 6 Season 5 equals 37.00, and Chapter 7 Season 1 equals 38.00. In a nutshell, this basically means that a current map change we have on the Chapter 6 island that we would then need to transition out of if we were going back to an OG month-long season like Chapter 3 as a spin-off, as we've seen with the other previous 2 ones, and therefore only wouldn't just be getting disabled in version 38.00. Instead, it would get disabled in 37.00, again for this month-long season, as it wasn't on the Chapter 3 island, this giant turtle. And Lulo also followed up to that post by stating, by this I mean a normal season and no Chapter 3 OG or anything. If this is the case, it'll be the first time that a chapter has lasted a total of 5 full long seasons without an OG throwback, and this doesn't necessarily mean that we won't be seeing a shorter month-long season toward the end for that 5th kind of season of the chapter, like we would have seen with a throwback season such as OG Chapter 1 that we've already been through and Chapter 2 Remix. Instead, like in Chapter 5 Season 4, we could get perhaps the biggest live event of this particular chapter itself, where we fought off Doctor Doom back then, and this could have some sort of drastic effect on the island where it only makes it actually habitable until a major finale event occurs that has literally a month of build up on the Chapter 6 island itself. Honestly, nothing right now would surprise me, considering they've gone all out with the first live event that they not only didn't announce, but they didn't have a timer in-game for above the frozen portal, where everything unfolded that I'm sure you've either attended or seen across social media, literally on the scale of the final showdown, being one of the most memorable or favourite live events in my opinion anyways, with both Hope and Jones being at the forefront of the storyline, leading the way or holding the torch, but switching places now, as Jones was the leader in the start of Chapter 5, but now Hope seems to be holding the reins in terms of leadership or moving forward, with us knowing that Hope's drawings or paintings can predict the future, and one of these involved Dr. Sloan, who obviously we saw for the last time at the end of OG Chapter 1, as we've seen her mysteriously reappear in the past, such as Chapter 4 Season 3 Wilds, where everybody thought honestly she was gone for good, with the Fortnite surveys showing the early concept form right in front of our eyes way before she was revealed in that that trailer. From taking a look at the Fortnite surveys now in terms of the unreleased section, which you can find on fn.gg, there is a version of Dr. Sloan with this very last reality looking outfit and alien-like glasses. My thumbnail designers managed to already make a model of this and pull it into game early, and obviously with the return of Dr. Sloan, this new variant being the only version of her on the Fortnite surveys set to release, and with it massively appealing to the Last Reality theme, could that mean that the Last Reality are going to be making a return at or toward the end of this chapter? After all, we know the appearance of these guys is chapter ending, as the Cube Queen obviously appeared in chapter 2 season 8 and then caused the events of the chapter 2 finale, flipping the island going into chapter 3. Cube Queen's failure back then was literally only made possible by one of our favourite factions throughout Fortnite history, or the very first one that actually had huge involvement in the storyline, being the Seven. And despite Jones and Sloan being seemingly on the same side, due to the time machine obviously taking us back to OG, mentioned in the voice recordings on the limited time chapter 1 island before it became a permanent mode, she did also mention about the fact that their memories of that place and everything that happened would be erased, and a goodbye to quote unquote this me and that you. And with her switching up on us in the past, actually working kind of with the Last Reality anyways, or blowing up one of the ships and trying to blow us up in the process during the Operation Skyfire event. Because of all the evidence we've mentioned about her being involved with the Last Reality once again, of course we're going to need something of similar strength or strategy as the Seven themselves, or actually them making a full return. Jethro states it best right here: I would not mind chapter 6 being a year-long chapter, as long as Fortnite chapter 7 brings back the Seven. It would be absolutely perfect because of the number, lol, and then that chapter has to be 2 years long, please Charlie Wen, please. And Charlie Wen obviously is the CCO of Epic Games, you know, who took over Donald Mustard's position once he retired. And even though the Seven returning right now in chapter 6 moving forward throughout the future of Fortnite is only hopeful wishes and pure speculation, they are actually returning, believe it or not, with live events in Fortnite OG's mode, as confirmed by Tim the Tapman right here when it initially came out.
It's alright.
I'm doing a 2-hour sponsorship of Fortnite, just heads up.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. Also, in the document they sent over, it says there is going to be the live events again, by the way.
Oh, that's lit.
So
okay. That's awesome.
I read it.
That's going to be awesome. Wow.
So they're going to replay. So it's literally going to go. I mean, that's insane.
You heard it there from official Epic Games documents. They are redoing the live events throughout Chapter 1, which actually started not at the end of the season we're about to enter on March 25th, Chapter 1, Season 3, with the comet appearing in the sky. This was more like a trailer event build-up, as we saw literally this comet or meteors strike the island, creating Dusty Divot for Chapter 1, Season 4. Inside this meteor that created Dusty Divot, however, that obviously was taken by the government on the island at the time to be studied or even extracted in terms of the stone, a pod inside this structure was discovered, which was historical for Fortnite history, introducing the first member of the Seven, the Visitor. With his appearance, reveal, and involvement in this season, of course, toward the end, it showed him at the villain lair launching this rocket into the sky, which was the first live event in Fortnite. With these OG seasons lasting around 2 months, from doing the math obviously from late March, when Chapter 1 Season 3 OG releases, it looks like OG Season 4, where this live event will be reoccurring involving the first member of the Seven, will be around early June. Considering the Seven are definitely getting reintroduced, confirmed for the live events also in Chapter 1 OG's mode, it would be cool for a crazy mashup of the normal Battle Royale and OG to kind of get intertwined in terms of the universes, and then they appear for Chapter 7. After all, we know Epic Games are doing some huge things in terms of Battle Royale going forward, from the State of Unreal livestream last year, where they announced that going forward in 2025, all future seasons of Battle Royale would be developed in UEFN itself, you know, the tools that creators literally have now to make creative maps. And to solidify this furthermore, here's what Tim Sweeney confirmed about it, not only for 2025 but 2026 also, meaning this directly affects Chapter 7.
A day in the life of Fortnite after Epic had moved to UEFN, and it was hilarious. Long story short, everything is broken all the time. But the reason it's not going to be broken in the future is that we're using it more and more for our own work. We're going to get to the point where we, in a few years from now, are building all of Fortnite in this tool set, the same tool set that's and the same feature set that's available to creators. It's going to get better and better, and this is going to be one of the really exciting things happening in 2025 and 2026.
In other words, don't panic that this is being made in UEFN, because it will be literally just as good as the tools that they're using now, if not better, as time and development moves on. And obviously Chapter 7 has to be one of the best, most innovative and gripping chapters releasing this year, because they have a lot of competition with the release of GTA 6. Drop a like if you're hyped to see what they do at the end of this year, subscribe for more with all notifications turned on, and don't forget I'm an Epic partner, so enter code FM1 in the shop now or the next time you log on, as nobody's doing it like me and Charlie the Charcoal Pug with a a giant cutout of our code to simply show our love back to you guys rocking it in the FM1 squad. As for where you go to now click either of these two videos YouTube's recommended on screen, it's a good suggestion whilst you wait for the next upload I do publish here on the channel.